full name is Olivia Mucunguzi. I run a company called Exceed Catering. I've been at this for at least 8 years, and I started the business shortly after returning to Uganda with my husband, and together we got into food. It was actually his idea for us to get started. I was a bit hesitant at the beginning, but you know what they say, let the man lead, because look at where we are today. It was a journey. The first year was, I think, one of the hardest years in our business. We didn't get no business. We set up, had everything ready, and I think like most business people, we assumed clients would just turn up, and nobody turned up for a full year. So then we started to walk door to door, started to market amongst our friends, started to network in different groups, and little by little, we got a few people interested. Now the model for the most part of the earlier years was to do the best that we could do with the business, and that meant giving it so much and barely taking any profit home. But we had a vision that we wanted to get as many people interested as possible, and little by little people started to see us for the value that we bring, for the uniqueness of the product, for all those other values that come with service delivery, time management, customer service, all of those things that are really key when you're setting up a business or when you're delivering a service. And I believe that that is what we run by still today. It's taken us places, we've gone into different places, and we've inspired very many people, which for us was the greatest surprise. We did this from a place of passion, but we've met so many young people who tell us they're really inspired by what we do. They are interested in doing something like this. And I believe that's the greatest reward as a business person, to be able to inspire another generation to change the world. I think the turn came when we got customers that were pushing price, but were really driven by quality. And that most times will define your customer, because there are levels below which we are not willing to work. There's equipment that we felt was important with our kind of business. That meant more investment. And all of these things put together kind of determined the kind of customer who would appreciate the package that we have to offer. That slowly, little by little, moved us into our target market and our ideal market. I believe that women in this world are the greatest factor to change, to growth. We had a lovely woman that first of all inspired us to get into the business, and then shared inspiration, shared ideas, shared so much of what we needed to start, gave us the concepts, shared her spreadsheets with us. She's a lady called Jacinta, and she really inspired us and pushed us on, because you know, with any business, the hardest part is the starting. Okay, that first foot into the direction, and she gave us that energy. She by far is one of the greatest factors that we are here today. And once she gave us that, the lessons continued. We did a lot of research. We sometimes did pro bono work to learn the industry. But we went in to learn, but what this did for us is it taught us so many things that we did not want to do as a business. We saw so many things that we thought, as a business, I think I want to tailor my product this way. And it became a very great learning curve for us. And it's something that I would inspire anybody getting into business to take time to just learn. And for us, it was at least 6 months of free pro bono work, no money making, but learning the craft that we wanted to get into. That helps us so much. We also went into spaces that inspired us, you know, like the hotels, to learn how they were doing things on a larger scale. And that by far to this day gave us a direction to understand who do we want to be in the market, where do we want to go, because we were looking up to the big players, and that drove us hard. It was very hard at the time. It looked nearly impossible, but you know, little by little you bite off a piece, you know, of the chunk that you need to eat away, and eventually, you know, you move miles. You look back and realize we've really progressed, and I think that's what's happened to us. No business thrives without a great leader. A great leader is the first, because that's the person that inspires everybody in the team. And with us at the top, and with the great vision that we have, we then started to look at young people that we feel have the drive, have the passion. This is not common in this day and age. Okay, we have very many young people who are not driven, who have grown up with a mindset of quick cash, who don't want lasting skills. And so for us, it was important to handpick, look out at young people who are not necessarily privileged, who have not had a lot of exposure, who haven't had the same chances in life, but have the passion, have the drive, have the zeal to learn something, have the patience, the humility. We look at certain values when we are uplifting and training people, and we don't do it for cash, but we handpick, people that we feel that this person, needs a skill or is humble enough to be trained, and these are the people that we focus on and train little by little, because the kind of business that we do is a lot of work. Sometimes we are on site at 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 4 a.m. And so if someone's not humble, they are not going to be able to sit and learn and take the time. Okay, the money doesn't come immediately, and so patience is key in this kind of industry. So that's how we handpick people, and that's how we train. And we have a very passionate team that is very, very disciplined and understands the core values of the business that we work by. We listen so much to feedback and customer reviews, and it's amazing. Customer reviews usually come out very casually, but if you listen hard and if you pay attention and if you jot down every single one of those, it's actually one of the things that can drive you into the right direction. And some of the reviews were things like, how much capacity can you take on? Can you come to, say, Southern Sudan to handle my event? And all of these things, you need to have a sizable chunk of equipment. You need to have a team. You need to have a well-bred, grown team, trained team. You need to have a space, where you can, we deal with the product, and you need to have a space that fits the product, where you can, do all the groundwork. And these are the little things that kind of drove us into scaling up. We realized that to serve the client that we were chasing, we needed to expand. But also as individuals, we are continuously driven. We never settle. There's always something we are chasing. We set small, goals, yearly goals, quarterly goals, that we kind of chase one at a time. And those goals keep evolving and expanding. And I think that's what's led us to definitely keep scaling up. If you look at our journey, there's been a lot of, growth. Yeah. I believe that ignorance was one of the greatest factors in setting up, because at the start we did not realize how capital intensive it was, and because we were very ignorant, we started little by little. We just did the basics in the beginning. But passion is a great thing, because then our passion grew, and we realized we need to have certain things in place. Luckily for us, we were lucky enough to have saved a bit of money. We had a bit of what should I say, we had land, we had things that we could sell off to get some cash to invest in the things that we wanted to. So we did that in the beginning. But also when we started to get customers, get business, we were more driven to reinvest in the business than take out money. And that also helped us a great deal. We are lucky that to this day we haven't had to get cash from outside to invest in the business. That doesn't mean that it's not an avenue that we are really interested in, because as you expand, as you grow bigger, so that's the need, so that's the capital that you need. And I think we are at that point where we are definitely looking into such avenues to build a bigger brand, to change the world. We are always crafting. I think we have different departments, if I should call them that handle different things. But one of our greatest is the carpentry section, where we are always creating these little things that we use on our setups, because in our country you don't walk into a departmental store and just pick up what you want. You've got to be ready to create. And so I think that's definitely one of the sections that has allowed us to thrive and stand apart. But as well as the core part of the business, which is the kitchen. Okay, we needed to set up a kitchen that was standard, that could produce anything and everything that we needed. We've had customers who come to us with their own menu ideas, and they say, can you create this? And we love that for most of those times we have been able to create, but you can't create without the equipment. And so that's the other driving force in our business. Exceed is all round. The proprietors are people who are very driven, but also very interested in the indigenous product that we give our customer. So we are looking to expand the brand to production. That means a farm, okay? And the farm should be able to produce most of the ingredients that we use in the kitchen, so that when I'm telling my customer, I'm giving you chicken that I know is well bred, is good for your health. I know from the word go, because we have been there from the start to this point. If it's a vegetable, it's the same thing. But even the little garnishes that we put on our spreads and setups, we want to be able to create all that magic from within. And so that's part of the vision that we have as Exceed for the next couple of years. We've already procured the land. We've started small scale. We're producing some of the stuff that we're using at the moment, but we're looking to expand, really expand into even livestock, because that's really key and core, okay? With the kind of customers that we serve, there are people who are very, very healthy and need a certain type of product, and we want to be able to cover all of that. On the other side, we want to expand into restaurant. We want to handle the large destination events. We want to cross borders, because we want to share the magic with the rest of the world. For many of our businesses, we did not get the actual training. It starts out as a hunt, okay, and a passion that is kind of all over the place. And little by little, as you get access to information and knowledge, you then start to focus and kind of remodel yourself and find a direction. But access to this kind of knowledge and information and where we can take these brands is really important, because sometimes you don't know how much change you can bring to a nation by simply lacking information. Yet this kind of change is what our communities need. So access to information is really key. Access to equipment is really important. Sometimes getting these things into the country is tough. I tried to travel a while back and I was failed. And I clearly said, listen, I have a business. I just need equipment for something, and that failed. So access to such things, because by someone denying you that, they are denying a possibility of so many other things. So laws or organizations that make this really easy for young entrepreneurs are really, really important, because they are part of the change. I think the first tip I'll give is something I experienced personally, and that's to most people who are looking to start. The first is that we are all uniquely made. Okay, and while it's important to learn from the big players, it's very important to believe in yourself, to dip inside and know that you have that one aspect that makes you really unique, because we are all very unique. And when you dip that aspect and apply it into your business, it will actually set you apart. Trying to be somebody else will never set you apart. It will only bring you so much close, because they will always be a step ahead of you. But dipping inside you, there's that one aspect that makes you different, that when you do it, you will do it differently. And I believe that this is the belief that most people starting should have, because if I had it when I was starting out or when I was younger, I think I would be so far. It took me a while to pick up on it.